How y'all doing today? Hey, I'm gonna clean out my garage. It's been really bugging me for about, I don't know, a couple months of just kind of pulling in and being annoyed that the stuff I have in here, there's like combination of things that I don't use anymore or things that are half used, and everything seems to be kind of difficult to get at. Today, I'll show you my garage cleaning strategy and approach. So the first thing I'm gonna do is pull my car out. Okay, so now I've gotten that done, got my car out, and then we can kind of look and see what we've got here. So I'm gonna flip this around. So basically, I know it's not that bad, but it really bugs me. And so I'm going to get this all kind of organized. This is all paint that I had in my furnace room that is no good anymore. I've got my trash cans, my recycling. I got this wheelbarrow a while back and it fits there, but got my lawnmower, and then I've got all this junk. And basically this is kind of the crux of the matter, all of this stuff that I want to kind of reorganize and go through and make sure that there's not anything in here that I don't need. The first thing I'm gonna do is kind of just start going through this stuff and seeing what I need or I don't need. All right, so here I have a lid to a styrofoam cooler that I do not have anymore. So that's obviously something I can get rid of. Here's a paint tray that is pretty contaminated with deck stain, so I probably don't need that either. Got a paintbrush, that's probably useful. Here is a paint removal scrubber thing that I use to scrub deck stain with. Throw it away. Here's an old license plate thing. Don't need it. Here are the batteries to my lawnmower. I need that. Here is a tool that I use. Then here's some more stain and paint that is almost certainly ancient. Put that with the other stuff. Here's another one of these with a paintbrush that is hopelessly clogged up with stain. Paint roller. That's good. I'm gonna keep that. Here's another one of these. No. What do we have in here? We got a bucket. Hey, that's potentially useful. Then I have some water seal. This is almost gone. So this can go to the other paint stuff. These are also ancient. I don't need those. This is a partially open, it's still liquid though, that I used once, and it's about 6 years old. So all of these can go over to the used paint area. All right, now things get more complicated. Here is some bug spray types of things. I always use bug barrier in the fall around the doors and stuff, just to keep things from, creepy crawly things from coming inside. So I think I'm gonna keep that. So I'm gonna put that up here. This I don't need at all, and I'm gonna put it with that paint that can get ecologically disposed of. Same thing with this. I stopped doing that. I'm not gonna use that anymore. This is the same stuff. The bug control stuff, spray, I have something else that I use instead. So I'm gonna get rid of that. This stuff is great for cleaning your car, glass windows and stuff. So I'm gonna keep that up there. So we got that sorted out. I got a couple bottles of bar and chain oil. That's useful, I'll keep that. I have an empty spool of trimming line, so don't need that. Here is a tape dispenser that certainly is okay, so we'll use that. Got some painter's tape, that's good. We'll put that up there. So we're moving everything we're gonna keep up to the top shelf. Here is a mini paint roller, that's good. I've got a shovel, little thing, and then I've got some fluorescent orange duct tape. So this orange duct tape, here's the story, is that I have a car that is very similar to other SUV type cars these days. The problem is that when I go out to the parking lot with 500 cars in it, my car matches lots of other cars. So I put some of this orange fluorescent duct tape on the luggage rails of my car so that I can spot it instead of wandering around the parking lot trying to get into strangers' cars. Okay, so what else we got here? We got a paint roller, that's good. This is a dustpan that is broken pretty badly in various places. I repaired it this way during the pandemic because I was on a sustainability kick for there. Still am to a degree, but not to that degree. So we're gonna throw that away. We got a broken lid for something. We've got a brush, so that's useful. I have a tiny fuse. For what? I don't know. Got a box cutter, that's good. I've got a plastic bag with nothing in it. A little hacksaw. These come in handy every once in a while. Oh, and here is another box cutter that is extremely rusted. WD-40, gotta have that. Paintbrush that is serviceable. Some scissors. This stuff is great for your garage door, like for the rails. It really helps, so I'm keeping that. I have some ancient hand sanitizer from the pandemic era also, but it's almost gone, and yeah. Here's another lid to something that it's not broken this time, but I don't need it for anything. I've got this house wash stuff, which I used once. Another funny story, during the pandemic, I decided I would clean all my windows. And so I did that, but about halfway through, I fell off the ladder I was using and got a really severe abrasion from my knee down to my ankle when I fell off the ladder and hit a pile of wood. And it was really gross and bloody and nasty. But you know, I just kind of made it happen with some bee balm and a bunch of bandages that I had laying around, and it got better eventually. The rest of this stuff, I've got some car wash detergent. I will probably keep that. And then I've got some random cups that have some stuff in them. Okay, down here I have, I'm not gonna bore you by going through every single thing like the other shelves, but I got some random stuff, some tools, obviously useless, some gloves, a kind of a fertilizer dispenser, some fertilizer, and then a whole bunch of, what is this? This has been here since I got here too. Sanded grout. I don't need that. So I got some gypsum soil conditioner and 2 jugs of laundry detergent that came from my mom after she passed away. things in the will. I got some windshield wiper fluid, another thing of deck cleaner. That also goes with this other deck stain up here. And I can't use any of this anymore because I had my deck professionally stained. I was doing it myself for several years, and then I just decided, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, and so I'm gonna switch that up. Oh, here's another fun thing, I think. Yeah. So during the pandemic, I became concerned that perhaps the electricity would fail, and that I would need to be able to easily start fires in the wild. So I have a bunch of laundry lint that is in this bag, which is really great for starting fires, but certainly has never come in handy. So we're gonna get rid of that. Somebody gave me this box of tools, and most of them are not useful or would even work and are severely rusted and old and damaged. So I'm gonna go through those and get rid of those. And then I've got a thing of kitty litter, which has like a little bit of kitty litter left in it. I used to have a cat, but I don't know why I have that. Up here, like I said, I got this other stain, and then I've got a couple bins that probably have some junk in them. Over here, I've got a tub. This is all pretty cleaned out now, but I've got some garden barrier, some rope, some kind of pressure vessel for something. I think that's from one of my son's paint guns from when he was a teenager. He's 30 now. Some seeds, a fan, and some concrete blocky things. So we're gonna sort all that out. So I'm gonna do a bit more throwing away and sorting, and then I'll be back. All right, so this is all the stuff I'm gonna throw away. Kind of tossed it on the floor or put it there. I'm gonna move those sealers over here. So this is all like paint and chemical stuff that I don't know what to do with. I'll have to figure out how to dispose of that properly. So now I've got a pretty wide open space to reorganize this stuff using, you guessed it, first order retrievability principles. So what that means is I'm going to put the things that I don't use very often, probably up high, while I'm going to put the things that I do use quite often in a much more accessible, lower, and without a bunch of crap blocking it in front. Incidentally, both of those paints are new, so I'm gonna keep both of those. And I also have a really probably disgusting pair of shoes under there somewhere, and something else that I missed. So that's the next step. All right, so the first thing that I did was to get all of that trash that was here, throw it in the trash can, which is now out there. And then I moved all the long-handled tools and kind of awkward stuff over here so I can kind of get them out of the way. And I put those bins up there. I've still got some of these things still here, but the next thing, I did consolidate all of the kind of toxic stuff. Next thing I want to do is use the blower to kind of get rid of all the bug carcasses and sand and gross stuff that's in here and blow it outside. Then I'm going to get my hose down here and wash out the garage. I figured I'd sweep real quick because blowing it out got a lot of stuff out, but not quite everything. And I wanted to do that before I hose it out in here. I moved all the tools out here and I moved everything up onto shelves. So I've got all the old paint and stuff up high with the potentially flammable things down lower to avoid, if it gets too hot in here or whatever. There's no direct sunlight, so it should be okay, but I thought better to be safe than sorry. Okay, so now what I've done, I don't have a spigot or a spray thing on this hose, so I've got it bent over. But what I'm gonna do is wash all this out And so we'll just start right now. Now I've got the entire thing washed out and swept out, and I've got all kinds of crap in my hair from using the hair blower or for using the leaf blower, but it's good enough for my purposes. Now, is this spotlessly clean? No, it's not. It's a garage, but the primary point of this was to reorganize the things that are in it. So that's the next step. I'm gonna put the things that I use most often into the most accessible places for me. Thinking about where the car is, where the garbage cans need to be, and all that kind of stuff. So the next thing you'll see is when this is done. This is what I use for a trash can when I throw things out of the driver's side window, like cans and trash and stuff like that. Just chuck it in there. Then I've got all that kind of questionable paint and toxic stuff over here that I'm gonna figure out something to do with. I can't really access this area easily, so that's why it's out of the way. Over here, I've got some random things that, ooh, hold on, I got a place for that. And I put up the tools that I use most often over here, these shovels and a rake, and the ones that I don't use very often over here, which is that broom, push broom, and a couple snow shovels, and some garden churning tools of some sort. I also got a chainsaw earlier this year. I haven't used it yet. I haven't had need to, thankfully, but it's in a place where I can get at it, but it's out of the way. Then over here, I've got my weed eater, which I use a lot. Here's the paint that is good and the deck stain that is good. And I've got some painting tools in that bucket there, so that's convenient. Up here, where I don't get it very often, I've got some plastic wrap, a rope, some garden stakes, a flagpole that I don't know what to do with. These empty bins, which could come in handy sometime, but not right now. And that garden barrier stuff. Then I got my blower up on top of here because I'm using that all the time. All the batteries are here. I've got a charging station inside for those, and a table. And then I've got my hedge trimmer, which I'm using a lot, WD-40, which I use a lot, duct tape, which I use a lot. Maybe I'll move this spool of trimmer cord over here, just so it's in the same place as the trimmer. And then some random tools, and then down below, where I don't get it this often, got my car wash stuff, my windshield wiper fluid, some fertilizer stuff, and some oil and so forth. Oh, finally, I forgot I had this ladder over here, so I put that there. And then I ended up putting the lawnmower back where it was, and the trash cans and recycling and the wheelbarrow back in the same place. So I've got one more thing to put in. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna put that also there because, you know, you think about it, you get in, you pull your car in, this is the least accessible area of the garage. So do I need ladders very often? No, I don't. So as we move towards this way, everything is becoming more accessible, and therefore I should put the things that I use the most in them. All right, so that's it. I finished getting my garage done, and that makes me happy, and I won't have to think about it. This is one of the things. And you know, if you're like this, then welcome to the party. But there are times where there are just situations and things, the way that they are, that kind of open a file on my brain, and they just, every time I see them, they bug me. This was one of those things. It is now resolved, and I am happy about it. So hopefully you are too. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button and be sure to subscribe if you like this kind of content, because if you do, then we're destined to be friends. So thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye.